So Brian, we've been talking a lot about tax rate setting process, and there are a lot of entities that may be setting rates for your property anywhere across the state.
Yeah.
What are some of those taxing entities that we need to be attending meetings for?
Well, certainly generally the largest portion of your tax bill is ISDs, the school districts. So your school taxes are generally your highest portion of your tax bill. But you have, countless other ones. Really, you've got improvement districts, public improvement districts, you've got city, you have your county tax rate, you have potentially emergency service districts if you're not in city limits. So, you could have special tax districts for other things, but that's pretty much a conclusive list of what most people are going to see on their tax bills. And, and some of them are nominal in their tax rate, and maybe people don't think it's worth getting too involved with that. But certainly one of the ones to watch are in school districts.
Yep.
So
Brian, you have some personal experience with protesting and even going to some of the rate setting hearings. Would you share some of your experience here?
What a protest looks like?
Yeah.
Well, you have to file a formal protest. You can do it on their form. Pretty simple. You're just essentially just telling them, this is my property, this is who I am, and I believe my property is, generally you're saying it's overvalued or whatever. So you can actually,
and there's multiple categories and you can only pick one.
No, you can pick multiple.
Okay.
So you can pick multiple, but yeah, the most common is overvalue or overvalued compared to your neighbor's assessed values. So, but that's step one, is file a protest. Okay. Then you may get an invitation for an informal hearing or an informal meeting, I guess is a better term for that.
Who would you meet with?
You would generally meet with a staff person of the appraisal district. And they would review the evidence and also discuss, why you believe it's overvalued, and they may come to a compromise right there. That you could if you come to a compromise, that's the end of the process.
Yep.
If you don't, then they would say we didn't come to compromise, and you move to an appraisal review board hearing, an ARB hearing, where you'd go in front of a group of your peers, and they would listen to your case and listen to the appraisal district's case and make a decision from there. Most don't get there. So most people would look at the evidence, discuss it with it, and if it's within reason, then accept a compromise. So, and then after that, there is other provisions under the law that allow you to, if your property is under $1 million, you could actually go to arbitration. Or there's some people that then file suit if their property doesn't qualify for that. But that's what the protest process.
And this year, you've done this multiple times already. Mm-hmm. Super successful. You've come out super happy with all your protests, right?
Well, I've only had informal hearings so far, and there's limitations on what can happen. But this, what you can agree upon in those formal hearings, because they.
So what you're saying is you don't always come out getting your way.
No.
And that's an expectation to have going in.
Yeah, certainly. And certainly in a year where you've had so much growth in sales price, because that in such limited inventory. Everyone feels the pain, right? There are closed sales, though they're about the same of what they were before, the month's inventory is just not there. So, you don't have a lot of good comps in some unique property situations to actually have an accurate.
And so if somebody as experienced in the process as you goes in and still has a daunting task, imagine what the average resident is going to go through, which is why maybe it's a good idea to consult a professional.
Yeah, certainly.
Be it a realtor,
tax consultant,
a tax consultant, or people who do appraisal protests professionally.
Yeah. The tax consultants will do that for you. Yeah. They are. You can look up a property tax consultant. There's tons of them, and they generally are former employees of appraisal districts or have experience protesting, I hope.
But your realtor would be a good place to start.
That would be a great place to start to see if it's worth protesting or worth going down that road. So absolutely.
Brian, thank you.
Yeah, pleasure, Casey. Thank you.